Okay, well, welcome to the ham. All right, what we've got here is a 7.5 pound skin-on cured cooked ham. Now, two things that you gotta realize when they're doing hams in curing brines, so the sodium level is through the roof. So what we are going to accomplish here today, to start out with, is we're going to work on desalting this ham. We're going to take a good portion of that out of here and we're going to trim up. So I'm going to take a good sharp knife and I'm going to score right around the very base end of my ham. This area down here has the bone. It has the least interesting part of the overall ham to us at the moment.
Try to cut into the skin, but not the meat all the way around the joint.
Come in and separate right on the edge the skin from the fat all the way around.
Slide the knife between the skin and the fat layer. Go all the way around the ham.
We're going to take down a good portion of the skin and of the fat. I do like a lot of fat on my ham when cooking, but we do not need all of this fat. There's an exorbitant amount of fat cap layer on this. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to take a nice little portion of it off. We're going to shave down till we got a good layer.
Remove the extra fat, leaving near 1/16 an inch left on the ham for our honey to stick to.
Back into it. Now at this point is where we need to take a minute, look at it, and try to figure out what our best side is going to be. A high base side and a low base side, but we've got connecting muscles here, here, and here. So what we can do is take the edge off, and that way our ham will sit on the bone and flat on the board for cutting. Okay, into our pot we're going to add hot honey, right about 1/3 of a cup. And to the 1/3 of a cup of honey, we are going to slowly add in some of our water. Take your spatula or spoon. The water is room temperature, so the honey will get back to a heavy consistency again, so it's going to need to be stirred in. Take your ham into the pot. Lay it onto its side. That way it's the deepest it can go. Cover the ham completely. Okay, now this is going to go into the fridge for 12 hours.
Many unbearable hours later.
Okay, back out of the fridge. Got some more honey here. Now what we are accomplishing is very, very simple. We are taking our salty, mass-produced ham and we are drawing out the salt by soaking it in water and imparting sweetness into the ham through the honey. So we've only got, 12 more hours of soaking in honey to do.
Rinse your ham and the pot thoroughly.
Re-add your raw honey to the bottom of the pot. Make part of your first pitcher of water. And your spatula again. Stir that honey right on into the water. That should be about enough. Gonna take my ham. Lay him back down. All the way into the bottom. Alright, he's fully covered. How about another 12 hours?
Much later.
So at this point we've already been in for 24 hours, maybe just an hour or over. We did rinse 12 hours through. At this point, we're going to start with the glazing, coating, and cutting.
If your ham is not spiral sliced, then make serving slices into the ham to allow the seasonings and crust to get deep into the ham. Making sure that your slices are not overly large.
Cut full rings all the way around your bone. Get out 1 cup of honey. Have a cup of butter. One cup of sugar. 3/4 cup sugar in it all. Alright, spice mix. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, half a teaspoon of cloves, half a teaspoon of allspice, half a teaspoon of ground ginger, a full teaspoon of granulated garlic, a full teaspoon of granulated onion, a full tablespoon of seasoning salt, and a half a teaspoon of white pepper. Let's get your honey in with your butter. Go ahead and take this and put it right by the vent for your oven. It will start to turn your oven on. We're going to go for the broiling setting and on low. Make sure all your butter is very well incorporated. Take our ham, smear liberally. We're going to want as much honey butter as you can. Don't worry about it if it gets on your fingers, because we're going to use our hands. This is going to impart a load of richness into our ham itself and begin that beautiful, beautiful crust that we're looking for. On the skin area back here, nice and light. Make sure it's there though. Get the sides. A little bit in the back. Now the broiler is the top flames in your oven. Take your ham and slide it just as close to those flames as you can possibly get. Leave your oven door open.
Melt the butter slowly but evenly.
Okay, pull her out of the oven, back up onto your counter. Take any of that extra honey butter that you got, place it back up on top. This is where your basting brush comes in handy. Just off to the edge. Make sure we get a nice coating. We're going to go back into that oven 4 to 5 times. So take your nice sweet honey butter. And reglaze a few different times. This is also going to get it to help our sugar to stick, which is what we're going to work on now. Take about half of your regular sugar. Your full 3/4 of sugar in the raw, turbinado sugar. All of your spices. Take your spatula. Get her all nice and mixed up. Just take back your spatula. If you happen to have any small granule clumps, just go ahead and make sure you're centered over your tray. And don't go too heavy. Once you notice the sugar, just about stop there. You can go a little bit onto everything. And this is a little early for it, but what we're basically trying to accomplish is almost a toffee. Take your edge, 2 hands if you need to.
This will happen fast. Watch the top of the ham, the sizzling and popping from the sugar cooking. Once you see this, adjust the placement of the ham to cook the crust thoroughly.
Now, you can hear the sugar start to sizzle. You can tell I've got nice... Am I recording? Yes, I am. Starting to get nice golden brown up on top here. Repeat our process. Nice, slow sugar topping. Brush in a tad bit of the butter. Just kind of dab your one side after the other one. Dab your sugar. Now he's going to go back in the oven. I'm going to set the tail end right underneath the fire. The joint right underneath the fire for a couple moments. Push firmly all the way to the left. You can start hearing everything sizzle in there. Hear them sizzling. Not even going to braid up this time. We're going to take the hot. We're going to add more sugar. Cool it straight down.
Coat the crust 3, maybe 4 more times using your crust mix-up.
Just keep going. And I'll leave her in there. Take some of that beautiful juice. Help these guys melt in a little bit. As you can see, the juices and the bubbles, or the juices don't have any bubbles, so they're under 220 or 212 degrees, which is the boiling temperature of water. But they do have plenty of sugar in there, plenty of honey, and plenty of ham flavor. Got a nice full sizzle going on to her. Take pretty much the rest of your sugar. I'm going to reserve just a little bit. Add some of that melted butter and ham juice. Bring it. I'm going to take the rest of my sugar here. I'm going to lightly right on over the top. Even her out with your basting brush. And go and slowly roast the sides a touch. Just take them and put them closest to the fire, but not immediately in it. Let that get a little heat to it. Okay, we've got a beautiful
Finishing glaze, 2 tablespoons honey, 2 tablespoons sugar, and 2 tablespoons
honey glaze
water.
back here. We're going to take our sugar. We're going to incorporate everything in nicely. We've got uncooked sugar and spices in here also that we have on purpose thrown on at the last minute. This glaze here is very, very, very hot. So whatever you do, it's not water. Don't get it on your skin. Use a lot of caution. If you're underage, please ask your parents for a little assistance. If you're, young. Last thing I want to hear is one of you guys got a sugar burn, because that's just about the worst thing you could ever want. Coat the full front. As this sugar honey wash dries, it's leaving a sheen on everything. That's because of the high sugar content, so it's going to turn into a very glassy, search through. Look for any areas that aren't shiny. We're going to go ahead and shave us a small bit off. Give them a little dip at the rest of the glaze. Now you can't go wrong with that. Pardon me, mouthful.